So I'm joined by Robert Llewellyn. So how are you, sir, today?
Very good, thank you. Very good.
You enjoying Comic-Con, are you?
It is bonkers as usual, but brilliant. Yeah, really nice to meet all the fans. It's been very nice. Have a big queue of lovely people waiting to see you isn't unpleasant.
So what do you think of Northern Ireland? I know the weather isn't the greatest, but you know...
The weather isn't the great. I have been many times before, so I do, and I've always had a brilliant time here. Thankfully today, Northern Ireland can't claim to be wetter than anywhere else because it was pouring with rain in London when I left this morning, so it's just... The British Isles just stink. It's just wet.
So some of your work, you've been on Red Dwarf and Scrap Heap Challenge. Can you tell us a little bit about those programmes?
Well, yeah, I mean, Red Dwarf's been going since 1988 on the BBC. It's been a remarkable experience being involved in it because it's kind of carried on. We did have a long break. I thought we'd finished. We finished shooting them in 1998, and then I did Scrap Heap Challenge for 10 years, and then suddenly Red Dwarf re-emerged, and I sort of kind of moved on then, and we went, oh my God, we're going to do it again. We've started making more series, and we're making another one this year. So it's really unusual in the world of television to have a show that lasts that long. But they seem to be really popular. The amount of people who I've spoken to today who weren't born when we were making them back in the 90s is alarming. So there's a kind of another generation that are now into the show and have seen the DVDs or the repeats on Dave or all that sort of thing. It is really extraordinary how long it's been going and how popular it is.
I remember actually watching it when I was a small child. I watched it, I didn't really understand it, but whenever I sort of rewatched it, and it was one of the funniest things I've ever watched in my entire life, because some of the jokes were great. Like, the one I absolutely love was the one where Rimmer, and it's when the Red Dwarf ship's going up, and it's the Grim Reaper appears though, and it goes, not today.
Yes. The writing, well, it's really the writing that has stood the test of time, and that's always what I've argued was that the thing that really attracted me to it when I first started working on it was the quality of the scripts were just so clever, because I come from a kind of writing background more than a performing one, and I really appreciated the quality of the writing, and it really has shown that it's very much down to that. I mean, Doug, who's the writer on it, always says it's not just him, it's the cast as well, which is very sweet of him. But if we were making it up on the spot, it wouldn't be anything like as good. It's that essence that really carries the show. It's very important.
So how long does it take you to get into your sort of costume as Crichton?
It's got much quicker over the years. The first year I did it, 1989, it was about 5 hours in the makeup chair to get the makeup done. And that's gone down to about 2 hours, so it's much faster than it was. And the only thing that keeps me going now is that everyone else's makeup used to be really quick, and now it isn't. It takes a bit longer to patch up the rest of the cast to look respectable enough. So we're all in the makeup room for much longer than we used to be. But I'm still there longer than anyone else. I still start earlier.
So have you got any more future projects coming up that you're involved in?
Yeah, I'm doing all sorts of things at the moment. I'm doing the TV coverage for the soon-to-be launched Formula E, the electric racing Grand Prix, which I'm very excited about, and another series of Red Dwarf. And then I do a lot of online shows. I do a show called Carpool, which is where I give people a lift in a car and interview them, and a show about renewable energy and electric vehicles called Fully Charged, which is very popular. So I'm horribly busy, and writing books as well. So yeah.
So and finally, just to end it there, do you think it's important to have sort of conventions where, because Northern Ireland actually does, the only convention Northern Ireland has is QCon, but Comic-Con is the first year it's ever come. Do you think it's important for fans?
Well, it seems, I mean, judging from the reaction of the fans here today, it's obviously a real big deal, and it's great that it's happening here, and it's great that MCM have organised this, because I mean, this is the first time they've done it, and I think they were sort of worried, oh my God, will anyone actually come? And they've, as we've seen, yes, they will. It's a phenomenal turnout today. It's really been really good, and it feels very similar to the Comic-Cons in London and Birmingham and Manchester. It's got the same vibe to it, and I just love I think a lot of people who would never come to something like this have a sort of preconceived notion of what science fiction fans are like, and I always argue with them when I hear that, because I go, no, hang on a minute, that's just a prejudice based on ignorance, because they're always the nicest, most polite people, and you see someone walk up to you who's bloody terrifying in some weird costume with a hideous face mask, the nicest, most charming and kind and courteous person I've ever met. So it's very counter to what a lot of people seem to think.